Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say what?
Chameleons, we are back for another episode of the Say What podcast. I am your girl, the CEO Shakima. So make sure you're following me on Instagram at the CEO Shakima. Make sure you're following the Say What podcast on Instagram. Make sure you're following Shakima D. Ford on Facebook and the Say What podcast on Facebook. Let's give homage, Chameleons, to Whitfield, of course, as I always do for this song that is just like so fitting for my personality for this podcast. Like, it's just a vibe. Like, it's just a vibe. And I'm telling you, as I always say, and I never get tired of saying it, but I listened to the song a few times, many times before you guys even hear me, because it just puts me like in a mood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can really, really rock out. But Chameleons, I have some good news. I shared it on the last episode, but I'm going to share it again. So we have a Patreon page now. So make sure you subscribe to our Patreon page. I'm super excited. Like, we've gotten, sponsors. Like, a lot has been happening. A lot of good things have been going on. I've even added like a phone number. So if you have a say what moment that you would like to share, like if you want some advice and you want me to read it out and kind of get some feedback from the Chameleons, the number is 860-255-8469. Again, the number is 860-255-8469. So if you have a say what moment that you would like to share, or like I said, you're going through something in your life and you would like, for me to read it out and kind of get some feedback, or you would just like for me to give you my feedback, make sure you call that number and leave a voicemail. All right. So I hope you guys are excited, because I'm super excited, as you can tell. And I've been getting some messages from you guys. And I'm going to tell you the podcasts that do the best. The ones that are talking about finances and relationships and sex. Like, you guys love to talk about money, relationships, and sex. Like, those are like the top three, like thousands of plays. So I'm going to give you what you want. So this topic, we're going to kind of talk about a little bit about like high value men. I know we kind of touched on it before. And, a little bit of, high value women. Like, I'm going to back into some numbers and some, percentages. And we're just going to, just talk about not necessarily using the term settling, but building, right? We're not going to say settling. We're going to say we're building, right? And I'm going to get into it. Trust me, I'm going to get into it. But let me get into some numbers. So I'm an engineer. I love to see numbers, right? Numbers don't lie. So I was just kind of scrolling, on the internet, doing some reading. And also, my cousin and I were having a conversation the other day, and it was a really good conversation, And we were talking about, men and women. We were talking about relationships, and, we kind of agreed that, social media really, really has us in a tizzy. Like, it's a fairy tale. Like, literally, it's a fairy tale. So, okay. So listen to this, ladies and gentlemen, right? 21% of men living in the United States earn six figures or more per year. All right. Now, 11% of women make 6 figures or more a year. So I want you to think about that. In the pool of the women seeking a man, right? There's only 21% of the men population in the United States of America that make 6 figures or more, right? You got to think about it. In that 21% of those 6-figure or more earners, some of those men are married, right? Some of them are not interested in a woman, right? It's safe to say that. So that's going to bring the number down even more, right? So let's just think about it, right? So as a woman that's seeking out the 21%, even though that number is smaller, because of that number, they're married. Of that number, they're not seeking for a woman, right? So we're going to have to chop that number down. And I hope y'all following me and you kind of see where I'm going. It's a very small pool. It's a very small pool. Because now as a woman, you have to compete with the women that are seeking a man that makes 6 figures or more, right? That's 11% of women living in the United States of America, right? And let's just say some of them are married and some of them are not seeking a man. So, okay, the number is smaller, right? That's still a pool of women that you have to compete against, right? And on top of the women that you have to compete against that are financially yoked with that small pool of men that make 6 figures or more every year, what about the percentage of women, right? So that will leave you 89%, right? That are seeking a man. Oh, right. And it's safe to say are seeking that same type of man, right? That's 6 figures or more, right? Because the world has painted this picture like men that make 6 figures or more are like saviors. Like they're just going to come and just make your life complete. They're just going to be everything you've ever imagined because they quote unquote make 6 figures or more a year. Absolutely not true. It's a facade. It's a fairy tale. It's just not true. But back to it. So you have to compete with the other 89%, right? That are not financially yoked with that 21%. Roughly, we got to chop that number down, right? Due to what I said. So you're competing with a large pool of women. But I'm here to give you some good news, right? 21% of men living in the United States earn 6 figures or more a year, right? So that other 79% of men, right, that don't earn 6 figures or more a year, that's a large pool, right? And we know some of them are married, some of them are not seeking women, right? But it's a much larger pool to choose from. So why am I saying all of this? Because I don't want us as women to miss out on a good man because he doesn't quote unquote make 6 figures and he doesn't meet the prerequisites that social media and that the world has painted for us, right? Because let me tell you something about six-figure men, what we consider to be a high-value man. To me, a high-value man is way more than money. If you're seeking a man just for money, you're going to miss out on so much in life, right? Because money only fixes money problems, which money can fix a lot of problems. But money's not going to hold you at night, ladies. We are very emotional. Some of us are very affectionate. Some of us have daddy issues and, just all those other things. And money is not going to fix all of those things. But anyway, let me get back on track. So I don't want us to miss out on a good opportunity on a good man because he doesn't, quote unquote, make six figures right now, right? Because having a man that comes already built, meaning he already earns the income, he's already in his career and, he's at the height of his career. Like, everything is just, oh my God, that's slim to none. The chances of finding that man is slim to none because any woman that's seeking a man is looking for that same man. And it's such a small pool to pull from. So you're missing out on a lot of good years of your life that you can't get back because you're searching for a man that every other woman is searching for. Mind you, that woman that every other woman is searching for, he knows that he has a lot of options. A lot of options. And those type of men, as I said before, they are totally different. They are totally different. I'll debate anyone on this. They're different. Their mindsets are different. They have to be different because they're at a certain place in life, and being average and, being mediocre and thinking it would never have gotten them there. So they've experienced things, right? They've been exposed to things. They have standards, they have requirements. They are really different. You have to present yourself in a way to them that you are different, right? Like, having a nice body, being beautiful, all of those things, those are good. But at the end of the day, like what makes you different? Like what makes you stand out? Like, what makes your craft? And when I say craft, I mean you. Like what makes you different from any other woman that is seeking that same type of man? So it's going to take, to get those type of men, it's going to take, as a woman, doing work on yourself. And I'm not just telling you this, ladies, because I'm just rambling off. No, I'm telling you this based on my experience. And just talking to, like I said, I have so many, my network is huge. And, I talk to men all the time. I have a lot of good friends that are men that are high income earners. And, we talk, we debate, but we disagree, but we're still kind to each other. But, it just takes more than just having a nice body and a pretty face. Like, and they say, well, we don't even really care what a woman makes. But at the end of the day, they do care. They may not care so much about the salary just based on our conversations that we had, but they do care about, do you have the capabilities to make money? Like at the end of the day, if I give you $5, are you going to turn this $5 into $10? Are you going to turn this $5 into 5 cents? Right? Because as a woman, our job is to come in and multiply. Right? If you give us a house, we're going to make it a home. Bottom line, like that's what we do. That's our role. Like, we're also nurturers. So it's just gonna take more. But I'm here to tell you, ladies, I don't want you to, give up on your dream of having a fairy tale, prince come sweep you off of your feet. But I also want us to be realistic, as my cousin and I were talking. Like, it may never happen. It may never happen because you are chasing the wrong man along with a lot of other women. And if you find a man making less than 6 figures a year, but he has these key factors, like number one being belief, like he believes in himself, he believes in his dreams, he believes in his capabilities, he believes in his, in his potential, he has ambition, right? He's determined to make his dreams come true. He has drive, like he is relentless. Like he is going to make it happen. And if he has discipline, you've got a winner. It's just going to take time. So that's why I said it's not that you're settling, it's that you're building. Not necessarily building the man, but you're building something with the man, right? It's a partnership now. Because I don't care what nobody say, 2 is always better than 1. So you're not settling. You're building with that man. And the right mentality of the both of you understanding and touching and agreeing that this is a partnership, we are doing this together, that 60,000 he made can turn into 200,000 in the next year or 2 years. You just got to be willing, ladies, to put in the work and put in the time. So either way, think about it like this. You could spend the next 5 years of your life chasing this high value man, certain income earner for the next 5 years. Right? And you never find him. Or you can, be with this guy that's been, chasing you for years, but, he's not a GQ model. He doesn't make enough money. He's not spending $200 on a steak on the first date, but he loves and adores you. And build with that man and be patient with that man and be his partner and not his companion. That's a whole nother topic. And the next 5 years, you could be living that fairy tale life, but you just got to be willing to make a sacrifice, and your mind has to be strong enough to block out the relationships that you're comparing yours or the relationship you want to have with the relationship you're seeing on social media or what the world has painted for you, and live that fairy tale life. But are we willing to do that? That's the question. Like, are you willing to do that and make that sacrifice? So you got 2 choices. You can chase that fairy tale that you may never have of, locking in that 6-figure or more earner who you think in your mind is just going to come and just make your life just everything just okay. Just, oh God, it's just amazing. Right? And you never find that because it's so many other women looking for that same type of man. And you got to really do some work on yourself. You really got to do some work on yourself. Or, like I said, you have the guy that's been chasing you for years who loves and adores you, but he just don't make enough money. But he's got dreams, he's got belief, ambition, drive, discipline, resilience, everything to make it happen. And it may take for you to come in and turn that dream into a reality. And now you get to live your fairy tale life. I want you to think about it. And I want you to think about it a lot. And as I said, it's not that you're settling, it's that you're building with your man. Because you determine what life you want to live. You determine that. And it's based upon the decisions that you make. And guess what? Time is ticking. And if I can't say this enough, you realize the older you get, you realize that you have way more time behind you than you do in front of you. So don't let life pass you by because you're chasing a fairy tale of something that just doesn't exist for you. So be uniquely you. And at the end of the day, you do what works for you. And don't let the world pressure you. Don't let society pressure you. Don't let social media pressure you to think you got to have this certain type of man, right? You only got to believe 10% of what you see on social media. All right. All right, ladies, I feel like I've been on my soapbox long enough. I just wanted to have this discussion and I welcome all the feedback. You guys, I gave you the number. If you have a say what moment or if you want to, kind of comment on this podcast, the number is 860-255-8469. Or you can send me a message on Instagram, on Facebook, kind of tell me what you think, kind of tell me what your thoughts are. And if you're someone who chose the route of, chasing that fairy tale and you never got it, share your story with us. Or you were chasing that fairy tale and finally you got it. Share your story with us. Or if you're someone that built with your man and now you're living your fairy tale life, share that with us. And maybe even, come join me on my platform because I would love to hear from you. All right, ladies, we got to do some work on ourselves. We do. We got to do some work and we got to get our minds right. All right. Thank you, chameleons, for rocking with me from day one. I love you guys. I would not be here without you. And if you're hearing my voice for the very first time, welcome to the family. All right, I'm signing off. I love you. Bye.
Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Did you see? Did you hear? Did you know? Say what? Say what? Say what? Say